and welcome to Feels Like Magic, the podcast where you will get the grounded self-development wisdom you might need to feel amazing about the person you authentically are. I'm Jo, a transformational coach, speaker, and author, and for decades I was so stuck in self-criticism that I never thought I would feel good about being me. Now I inhabit a new reality, one where I care way less about what other people think. I'm willing to show up as the person that I am, and I deepen into self-love and acceptance every single day. Honestly, it feels like magic. Each week, I'll share scientifically proven tools, things I've learned from the world's best coaches, and personal stories I know you'll relate to. Ready? Let's dive in. Hello, beautiful human. I'm so happy that you are here for this bonus episode, which kind of came out of nowhere. I hadn't planned to do anything with the podcast, but I've been thinking about my year and the big lessons and the things that have come out of them. And I really just wanted to share them. I want to be really vulnerable here. I want to be really open. I want to be giving you the things that I'm going through so that we can all kind of navigate life together. And I thought it would be a really interesting thing to just talk through 6 or 7 of my big lessons, but also declare, and you can do this too, and I would so love to champion you and cheerlead you in this, to declare what gets to change. Because to my mind, we can learn a lesson, but if we don't actually implement changes in our life, nothing changes, nothing is different. It's just the same, right? So I'm going to, dive into that, let you behind the scenes, really kind of make this kind of a point for something new for me. And I'm excited. Before I fully dive into the episode, I do want to let you know that you can also get the beautiful replay of my reflective process, which is a 2-hour workshop. And 2 beautiful hours, not 2 like stressful hours. I know it sounds like a lot of time, but really to take time to be with your year, the things that have happened, and the letting go is such, it's just such an incredible thing. And so often we can rush, when actually what this time of year invites us into is a real slowing down. So that is there. There's also a beautiful workbook, and I've included some incredible rituals in there, which will really help you to move on from what is no longer serving you, including a really beautiful meditation. So that's still there. And then also I have Making Magic coming up, which is a New Year visioning workshop. But it really is designed to help you to get so clear and so specific on exactly what you want in 2025 that nothing is going to take you away from it. And I'm going to be taking you through a process that I used this year to change the trajectory of my year. And I have to be honest with you, 2023 wasn't the year that I felt like I powerfully created. It was a year where I was in a little bit of stalemate and I was way too comfortable, and I hadn't really set the intentions to do the things that I wanted to do. So when it came to this new year, I sat on my floor and I did this process for the first time, and honestly, it changed everything. And I explain in the workshop why. So that is to say, if you want to come to those, go to joannebell.org/makingmagic and grab your spot. All right, let's dive in. So the lessons that I'm going to give you, I have not overthought them. They are not crafted or curated. They are what came from my brain to my pen, and I hope that you'll take something from them. So my number one lesson from this year is to value myself more. To value myself more. So what I mean by that is, if you had asked me a year ago if I valued myself, I think I would have said yes. I definitely valued the work that I did. I valued the things that I put out in the world. But when it came to me and the things that I would allow myself, and this kind of goes back to a really deep conditioning around appearance, around good girl, all of these kind of things feed into this. I was showing up in a lot of ways that did not suggest that I valued myself and my life and the things that I want to call in. So this a really small example of this, but it's not small for me because it's what I really desire. I desire partnership. I want to be in a loving, incredible partnership with a beautiful man. I wouldn't pay for a dating app. Instead of valuing my time and filtering out all of the people who were not for me, I would just sit there and really not value the thing that it was that I said that I really wanted. I stayed in this pattern of kind of scarcity with it. I would go on dates with people without fully really feeling into it. And there can be an element of openness with dating, but it's really important that we value our time. Same thing in my business. I was doing everything, all the admin, all the emails, all the stuff on the website, like everything, and really not valuing the thing that I bring because I was still kind of making myself do all the stuff around it. Also with my relationships, really valuing my time and my energy and bringing like something special to them wasn't something that I really considered. And this year's been a huge process of valuing myself more. So what gets to actually change in my life is I am now going to pay for dating apps because I value my time and I value my energy. And the more energy that I spend on looking at men that I'm not interested in, the more that I disprove that to myself. I also really value my dreams. I value the things that I want for my life. So valuing myself more means paying for a dating app. It also means getting support in my business. It means getting people to do the marketing. It means getting people to do the website so that I can concentrate on the stuff that I'm really amazing at. And there's a whole conditioning around that that I have been working through, but I value myself. I really do. And so if I'm going to say that, it has to show up in action as well as in words. We cannot just have one or it feels empty and hollow. The other thing that I'm really going to do is to make sure that when I'm spending time with people, they are people who enrich my life, who make me feel good, who I love spending time with, and not spend time with people just out of obligation or politeness. I'm a no to that. So these are ways in which I am going to value myself and the things that I need to really shift and let go of. The letting go here is feeling like it's indulgent to be supported, feeling like, who do I think I am if I have all of this support? I'm really deepening into this sense of I value myself. I value what I'm here for. I value what I'm putting out in the world. I'm going to do things that are so potent and wonderful, like the podcast, where they really feel good and like I can give from a very pure place, but I'm not burning myself out. This brings me on to my second big lesson, which is I am responsible. I am responsible. So it is super, super easy to blame other people, to blame the clients, to blame the guys, to blame the colleagues, to blame whoever is in your orbit, right? It's super easy to blame. And the thing that I see people do that I have been in is how dare they do this to me? How dare they do this to me? Right? I had a thing with a guy recently where it was like that thing of like, how dare he not reply? But I've given him the keys. Where is my value? Where is my standard? I have to take responsibility for what I am available for and what I'm not available for. And it's really, really important that I do that. So I am responsible and I am not a victim. And I really would love for you to think about where you are in victim, where you are blaming other people, and where you are really in that place of, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Why me? Right? Instead of, none of us kind of wake up and are like, why is it happening to me that I have a healthy body and I have a beautiful life and I'm in a safe house? Like, we forget all of this stuff and we focus on the thing that we don't have. And then we say, like, so life is so unfair, and we go into victim. So one of the biggest things for me is that I am responsible. I am responsible for how I respond to people. I'm responsible for how much time and energy I give things. I'm responsible for the way that I show up in a room. I'm responsible for all of these things. And it's so easy to forget that. So my invitation to you is to think about, where am I in blaming? Where am I in victim? Where am I in, why is this happening to me? And what would happen if I took full responsibility? Like, I am fully going to be responsible for this side of the street. And again, I'm going to talk a little bit about dating because I think it's such a good analogy for life in this situation. Very easy for me to go into, why is this guy not responding or not being consistent or whatever, instead of actually taking responsibility for, what is it that I actually want? And okay, if somebody isn't showing up in that way and showing me that, then I take responsibility for getting out of that. So this one, it is like such a deep lesson. And I think it's something that we want to resist all the time, because it does mean that we have to change behavior. We really have to change. And so for me, when it comes to change with this one, it is really about stopping doing things by default. So for example, for a while, when I first started my business, I would work with anyone that wanted to work with me. And it's really now about, I don't want every client. I really don't want to work with clients who are super in their victim. I don't want to work with clients who are not taking responsibility. I want to work with clients who are inspired to show up so powerfully for themselves and see the transformation that they desire and long for. And they're going to take responsibility for that, just like I have. So I really want you to think about, where am I not taking responsibility and where could I take responsibility more? Okay, lesson number 3. Question every limit. Question every limit, every limiting belief, every limit that you have on your life, every time you're saying that is not possible, every time you're shutting down a possibility before it's even open. Question, 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 question. If I hadn't done this, I would not be sitting here in my apartment in Lisbon. I would be in Scotland, where I wasn't very happy. And that would have been my reality because I let it be. So limiting beliefs and upper limits. There's a beautiful book by Gay Hendricks called The Big Leap, which I really recommend on upper limits, are things that we have as part of our programming. We are partially programmed to be like, life is like this, and this is going to happen, and this is not going to happen. And we don't want to go out of our comfort zone too much, right? And this is all in the subconscious. 96% of our behavior is subconscious. So question every limit. If you're saying, I can't do that, why not? Why can't you invest in coaching? Why can't you start a business? Why can't you ask for that promotion? Why can't you go to that country? Why can't you? Right? Because so much of it is a construction in our own head. And I really speak from my heart on this one, because I've had to do so much deconstructing. Can we be more open? So for me, what gets to really change when it comes to questioning my limits is that I get to stop accepting the status quo. I get to stop accepting how things have been. I get to stop accepting something just because it has been that way so far. I get to challenge every single thing like someone is coaching me on it. And I get to look for evidence of what else might be possible. I really get to look for evidence of what else might be possible. So, big one. Big, big, big one. Okay, let's go to question number 4, or lesson number 4. My 4th lesson, which ties into all of these, is to speak up and ask for what I need. And that is something that is extremely uncomfortable for me. It's uncomfortable for a couple of reasons from my past. As a child, for whatever reason, I learned to keep things inside. So there is literally something in my body that happens when I go to speak up and ask for what I need. And it's super uncomfortable. It's getting slightly easier because I'm in the practice of it, but it is a practice. It really is a practice. And if I do not speak up and ask for what I need, then none of the first three things that I've talked about can exist. I can't take responsibility because I have to be in victim. I have to be at the other person's mercy. I can't value myself because if I'm not asking for what I need, then I'm not really valuing myself. I'm just accepting what is given to me. I can't be questioning my limits because I'm not willing to do something in a different way if I'm not speaking up and asking for what I need. So it's such a huge one. And for me, what really gets to happen and what gets to change in my life is that I get to do this at every opportunity. So whether it's asking for what I need in a restaurant or on a date or with someone I'm chatting to or with a friendship, I get to continue to practice and build this muscle of asking for what I need. Supports everything that I've talked about so far and is really, really important. We are not islands. We don't exist alone. We do not exist alone. We are all connected. Everything touches everything. We are all connected. If you are listening to this and you are somehow in my world, it's because something that I have to say is a mirror for you. So we are all connected. We are so much more similar than we ever give ourselves credit for. So speak up, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when you feel sick, even when it's like your heart is racing. Again, if we don't do something different, nothing will change. Nothing will change. So speaking up is so, so, so important. All right. Let's just take a breath. I'm going to take a breath. Big breath in. Lovely breath out. That's nervous system work. I'm getting a bit pent up by all of this stuff, but it's really, really, really important. All right, this lesson has been such a tough one for me, my loves, and I would love to know if you can relate. Lesson, I can't even remember what number we're on, but the next lesson is to surrender. Now, I've spent a lot of this year kicking against the water, fighting the waves. I have spent a lot of this year in resistance to what is here. And what I haven't done as much of, and I want to practice more of, is surrendering, floating, being a yes to whatever comes along. Because the thing is, nothing is going to go the way that you think it is going to go. That is not life. It just isn't. Yes, we can create. Yes, we can manifest. Yes, we can build businesses. We can do all of the things. But there will always be curveballs, interruptions, something happening over there that you didn't see coming, something happening to a friend that you need to take care of or you decide to take care of. So there will always be circumstances in life that require you to surrender, to stop fighting the waves and to learn to float. And this is such a game changer. And it's something that I'm working on so continually because there's such a part of me that wants to control, that wants to know that if I do this, then this. And it's so human. It is so, so, so human. But fighting with reality is exhausting. And again, it comes back to that question of instead of why is this happening to me? What is here for me? What is here for me? Because the thing is, we are not in control of any of the good stuff. We think we are. But the beautiful thing about life is that we're not. We're not. We're not in control of the person that comes into our life that blows us away. We're not in control of the way that things move in such mysterious, beautiful, unexpected ways. And that is so hard and it's also so beautiful. So, so beautiful. So if you can truly surrender, stop trying to control, stop trying to fight, life gets so much more easy and you get to be so much more open to what is here. We are not meant to make it all happen. We are meant to be forces of life. And so for me, and this is a big one, I will not lie, such a huge piece of this for me is to welcome my emotions. Because even very recently, I had so much anger around something. And I can choose to push that anger away. I can choose to tell myself I should be grateful, or I can just welcome it and say, of course you feel angry. Let's express that, right? So welcoming all emotions, letting them move through the body, letting them move. If you're angry, go into your anger. If you are sad, go into your sadness. And I don't mean mope around being sad for days and days and days. I mean, feel it. I mean, feel it in your body, in your heart. I mean, put on a sad song and let yourself cry. I mean, be fully in it. Embody it. Let it move through you. Emotions are meant to move. They are not meant to stay stuck and stagnant. So really allowing your emotions. And then falling back for me, it's coming back to trust. Coming back to trust. Have I ever gone without? Have I ever not had a bed to sleep in? For me, the answer to that is no. Have I always had people around me that love me? Yes. Right? So coming back to surrender. Okay, so I have 2 more lessons for you. This one is really important. Healing is a process, not a project. Healing is a process and not a project. And what I mean by that is we want to think that we can learn about self-development and then heal our childhood, heal our trauma, heal our heartbreak, and move on. And the beautiful thing about life is going to keep on lifing. And I have done more work with my inner child, or just as much work with my inner child this year when I have not been in containers that have really supported that. I've been in things for different reasons, because this is the part of me that continually shows up, that continually needs love, that continually needs for me to tell this younger part of me that she's okay. She's all right. I've got her. And so healing is a process, and it's really important that we are with ourselves in the moments where we feel triggered, in the moments where we feel sad, in the moments where we feel lonely. For me, I have such a story around being on my own, that meaning something, that there's something wrong with me, which is one of my core beliefs that I worked really hard on. But even now, I'm in Lisbon, which is so wonderful. And tomorrow night is New Year's Eve and I don't have plans. I don't really want to go out. I could go to a party. I could go in, but I don't really want to. But there's a part of me that has a very deep story around if I don't do something, if I'm not with other people, if I'm not doing what other people are doing, then there's something wrong with me. And so that's the opportunity to heal. So every day we have opportunities to heal these parts of us that show up. And this needs such tenderness, and it really needs a lot of care. So for me, when it comes to this, the thing that gets to change is, again, emotions get to be here. My younger self gets to be activated. And the thing that I'm really conscious of is that I don't expect myself to have it all figured out. When I first became a coach, I had this perception that once I was a coach, I would, I just would have everything figured out and I could just be like this kind of like sage person. And that's not the case, right? I'm a human being. I'm making mistakes. I'm navigating things just like you are. And it's really important that we're with ourselves. And for me, this is the value of being with coaches, being in containers where you're with people for periods of time, because they can hold this for you too, especially when you don't have the strength to hold it. So healing is a process, not a project. Okay, final lesson, my loves. I hope that this has been helpful for you. I hope you can start to think about, what are mine and what do I really want to change? What am I a no to now? The final thing that I want to say is, it's already here. The thing you're looking for, the thing you're longing for, the thing that you have been dreaming of, the thing you're telling yourself you're never going to have, it's all already here. There are times in my life where this would be the point that I turned this podcast off, especially when it came to love, because I was so in such deep longing for love. And I've been single for 7 years, and there hasn't truly been a point in that time where I've been okay with it. I'll be really honest with you. You know, I'm yes, I choose to wait until I meet someone that I'm truly in love with, but I've been in a lot of anger and a lot of frustration and a lot of, why is this happening to me? And all of that were things that I really had to look at. But the thing that I do need to come back to is, it's already here. I already love myself so deeply. I already have so many people in my life that love me. I already know that at some point it will happen. And at some point, there are days where that feels harder. But then there are days where you take radical responsibility and you show up to dates the way that you want to show up. And so whenever we're looking for something external to change things, we are playing a false game. We really are. And nowhere did I learn that more than when I moved to Lisbon, because Lisbon is beautiful. It's an incredible city, but it's just a place. I am the same me. I have the same patterns here that I had in the UK. And so it's really about being with ourselves with tenderness and love as we navigate that. We're not looking for something outside of ourselves because it's already here. And the way that I distinguish this in my head is, there are things in this universe that I will get to create and be part of. But in this moment, I am loved. In this moment, I'm safe. In this moment, I have control. It's already here. In this moment, I'm so abundant. It's already here. And when I can move from that place, again, life just gets better. So with this one, things that are supportive for me, and that I'm pretty good at catching myself when I'm looking for something external now. But the things that really ground me in this are, there's a somatic practice called soul sabbatical, where you go out and you very consciously every day for 5 or 10 minutes, spend time outside, and you don't have your phone. And you just look at the nature, you look at what's around you, and you just take in the fact that you're on a spinning planet, that you are a human being, that you have a beating heart, that time is passing, whatever it is that you want to take in, and you anchor yourself back into the truth of your existence. It's really beautiful. And then the other thing is gratitude. Gratitude for what is here, gratitude for what you have, gratitude for what you can experience. And what I would say is, the thing that I've always talked about with gratitude is not at the cost of not feeling your feelings. So we don't go straight to gratitude when we're freaking angry and annoyed and want to punch a wall, or whatever the thing is. We get to feel all of that. We get to move the wave of emotion through our body and let it take up as much space as it wants to take up. And then when that's settled, and only if we feel it, only if we actually feel it, because there's no point in saying something that doesn't actually ring true. When we feel it, then we get to soften into gratitude. That's the way it works for me. And it's really that part about feeling it is so, so, so important. Now, underpinning all of this, my love, is a lesson that I learned a long time ago. Be kind to yourself. You have come so much further than you think. You are doing so well. Be kind to yourself. Be compassionate to yourself. Turn towards yourself when things are hard, not away. If things are not working out, don't make it because there's something wrong with you. Make it because there's something here for you. Breathe. Come back into your body. Nervous system work is so important. And again, it underpins everything I do. So does somatic work. Really be in your body. And no matter where you are, whether you're flying and on top of the world right now, or you're finding life hard and challenging and frustrating, I just want to send you so much love. Because we're in this together. We really, really are. Thank you so much for being here. If you have listened to this to the end, you're my hero, because it takes something to show up for yourself. And I thanked myself so much for that this year. I've shown up for myself again and again and again and been so brave and courageous, pushed myself, and I'm so proud of myself. So I hope that you extend that to yourself. And I hope that you have a beautiful beginning of your year. And I hope that you find the love, the grace, the compassion, the things that you're longing for, even if they feel really far away. Remember what you can access right now. Sending you so much love. Thank you so much for being here and being you. If you're ready to dive deeper on your self-development journey, visit joannebell.org, where you can sign up to get even more magic, access incredible bonuses, and find out more about working with me.